Let's celebrate the magic of short stories and poems. They are truly magical, aren't they? They make us feel happiness, heartbreak, horror, hope, hatred, and so much more. Namaste people. Welcome to Shweta's Basket, a weekly stories and poems podcast, and I'm your host, Shweta Singh. Life, we say, is unpredictable, but sometimes so is death. Actually, let me rephrase that. Death is predictable, for we are all sure to die one day, but what happens after death may not be as straightforward as we thought. And that is the subject matter of this story, which is a peculiar predicament, and it is written by Sonal Singh. Sonal is the founder and director of an HR firm called Rian Placements. But she's a writer by passion and chef by compulsion. She dons multiple hats. A sought-out professional and an adept homemaker. She's mother to human babies, a furry baby, and a winged baby. Her happy space is her website, On Sonal's Table. It showcases all her short stories, poems, achievements, her recipes, and product reviews. She's the chapter head, Hyderabad, at Asian Literary Society. She recently published her first book of poems called Islands in the Stream, published by Authors Press, and it is available on Amazon. The book has been receiving rave reviews since it was published, and why not? For it has 48 beautiful poems divided into two sections: Nature's Rhapsody and Life's Foibles. She has won numerous awards for her literary work. To know more about her and read her works, please visit her website www.onsonalstable.com. The link to the site and to the book on Amazon will be in the show notes. So here is a peculiar predicament written by Sonal Singh. Time of death 10:47 a.m. Dead? Me? No. Doctor, no, you're wrong. I'm still here, alive. Frantically, I tugged at his arm. My hand passed right through him. What the? I thought in apoplectic perplexity. A nurse approached us. Clad in white, she covered me with an equally white sheet. Damn. Looks like I've really passed on, I thought. But aren't we supposed to float out of this body? An orderly arrived, unceremoniously dumped me on a gurney and wheeled me to the morgue. He shoved me into a steel-encased chamber, banging the door shut. No. Hey, don't shut the door. Hello, don't leave me here. I'm supposed to float out and meet Saint Peter. I called out, only to realize that I now had no voice. Damn, that was inconvenient. What now? I pondered on my situation. I had read stories, heard tales of how people who died saw a white guiding light that led them to heaven. But I had only seen a white sheet. I was totally flummoxed. Oh, but I was sure I was going to heaven. After all, I had donated generously to the church. But how am I supposed to ascend to heaven if I'm stuck on earth in this body? I grumbled. My predicament was most peculiar. I have to find a way, I surmised. Sadly, no solution presented itself in the next couple of days. Sleepless with anxiety and shivering, I lay trapped inside my own body in that infernally cold chamber. My entire afterlife was at stake. How could I sleep amid such uncertainty. After 2 days, a hearse took me to my funeral. I thought relieved. Maybe I am supposed to depart after this. But would you believe it? Not a single relative, I say not a single relative, shed a tear at the funeral, including my wife and kids. I tell you, I had half a mind to cancel my plans for ascendance and haunt the nightmares out of them. But I took the high road and resisted the temptation. Finally, I was laid to rest. As the first shovel full of soil hit my casket, I panicked. Damn, I was still trapped. Dear Lord, first a chamber, now 6 feet under? I moaned. I knew I would have no sleep till I was able to extricate myself out of this peculiar situation. My plight probably reached the netherworld for a week of sleeplessness later with a tingling sensation of light weightiness. I felt myself float above the grave. Hallelujah! I yelled in jubilation, finally! But wait, instead of the pearly white-robed, haloed figure of Saint Peter, I was accosted by a swarthy, hirsute giant. Man, he looked scary. Where is Saint Peter? And who are you? I asked, mustering my courage. His booming laughter filled the cemetery at that. Had I made a joke? I tell you, this entire process of departing was rather confusing. The devil, he said, and shoved me headfirst into hell. Understandably, now it is not my predicament that gives me sleepless nights. Oh, the poor fellow. But even if it is in stories, it's good to know that only donations to worthy causes don't guarantee a place in heaven. Only good deeds matter. So guys, keep up the good deeds. And I hope I have done my good deed for the day and made a few people smile and chuckle with the story. But to be honest, in this case, I will have to share half the reward with Sonal. Now, moving right along in this world, we come to the one question section. Last week I asked you, in the poem, Stop Suffering and Start Living, the poet proclaims that life can be beautiful if only we find our what? The right answer is if we find our patch of sunshine. And the right answer was sent to us by Lata Singh. So thank you, Lata, for listening to the poems and sending in your answers. And here is the one question for this week. What is the time of death? Now, sending in your answers is super easy. You can DM me on Facebook or Instagram or email your answers to shweta@shwetasbasket.com. And do join me next Friday when I bring a beautiful, introspective poem for you titled Does It Happen to You? By Vibha Batra. Yes, the same author who gave us Vishnu and the 2 glasses of milk. And guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. Do subscribe to my website www.shwetasbasket.com so that you're always up to date with what's new in the basket. And stories and poems are not the only things. You will find book, movie and restaurant reviews in the basket too. And if you enjoyed this episode, then follow or like the podcast, share our episode on your timeline and tag us, and recommend us to your friends. Help us reach more people. Shweta's Basket is available on 18 different platforms like Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Gaana, JioSaavn and others. We're also on YouTube. For the complete list, check out the show notes. And if you want to get in touch with me, I am on Facebook and Instagram, and my handle is Shweta's Basket. And guys, in this day and age, it's a good idea to have a website. So if you're thinking of having one, then listen on, because having a good-looking and professional website is just a click away. In the meantime, this is your host, Shweta Singh, signing off. Till we meet again on the air next Friday. Bye for now. Do you want to have a website of your own? Are you a writer, photographer, actor, makeup artist, hairstylist, or even a tutor, singer, painter, journalist, consultant? Or do you have your own cafe, restaurant, resort, holiday home, shop, small business, hospital, or even a blog, WordPress, or Blogspot account that you want to migrate to a good-looking website? Well, look no further. The Geeks will help you, and you will find them in the Geeks room at our Tunes In. Just click on the link in the episode description. Yes, it's that simple to have a website. My website is hosted and managed by them. And want to know what I love about them? They are professional, customer pleasers, straight talkers, and very competently priced. So what are you waiting for? Your website is just a click away.